It is now my privilege to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon, Mr. Rod McQueen. Rod McQueen is one of Canada's best known and respected authors who has written extensively on business, finance, politics, and history. Born in Guelph, Rod holds a degree in English language and literature from the University of Western Ontario. He worked as a reporter for the London Free Press and as an editor for McLean Hunter's business publications. He was press secretary from 1970 to 76. He was press secretary to Robert Stanfield, leader of the Progressive Party of Canada, then spent 2 years as director of public affairs at the Bank of Nova Scotia. In 1978, Rod joined Canada's newsweekly, Maclean's, as business editor and later managing editor. Mr. McQueen then became a freelance writer and broadcaster. His work has appeared in most major Canadian magazines as well as American and British publications. From 1989 to 1993, Mr. McQueen was Washington bureau chief for the Financial Post. He returned to Toronto with the Financial Post and was also a columnist and senior writer at the National Post. In 2004 and 2005, he and his wife Sandy lived in Florence, Italy, where he wrote and Sandy illustrated a book called Fantasy in Florence, Leaving Home and Loving It, a beautiful book. Mr. McQueen has won numerous awards for his writing, including the National Business Book Award for Who Killed Confederation Life, The Inside Story, and the Canadian Authors Association Award in History for The Eatons, The Rise and Fall of Canada's Royal Family. He's the author of a number of award-winning books on Canada's most powerful business families and organization, including the Bronfmans, the Billizes, Manulife's Dominic D'Alessandro, and his 2010 Blackberry, The Inside Story of Research in Motion. I was saying to Rod at lunch, he may have to write another edition of that one. His next book, Driven to Succeed, co-written with Susan M. Papp, will be published this fall and describes entrepreneur Frank Hasenfratz and the auto parts company he founded, Linamar. Mr. McQueen holds an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from the University of Western Ontario. I had the distinct privilege of working with Rod at Maclean's in the late 70s, and I can tell you he is a highly skillful editor who could also be kind to writers and columnists, and those two characteristics don't always go together. Rod has exceptional insight into Canadian business, and I was delighted when he accepted our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest speaker for this afternoon to address Convocation, a very distinguished Canadian, Mr. Rod McQueen.
Good afternoon. This is the interactive part. Good afternoon. I'm humbled by this honor to speak to you today because this is your day, not mine. Congratulations to all the graduates of the School of Business and Management Studies and Center for Justice Studies. Congratulations also to all those long-suffering family members who have supported you financially, spiritually, and in every other way that they, I'm sure, have over these last months and years. I'll have more to say in a moment about those crucial relationships because during the 10 minutes I've been given to speak to you this afternoon, I'm going to reveal the top 10 secrets of life. But first I want to thank your President, Maureen Piercy, for the invitation today. As President Piercy has said, we were colleagues together at Maclean's. It's been a pleasure to recall those days as we met over lunch and get caught up again. Loyalist College has given you skills, including how to think. But what are you going to think about? What are you going to do with your life now? Convocation may seem like an ending, but it's not. It's just the beginning, because it's what you learn next that counts and what you learn after that. So here's what you can learn today. Here are my top 10 secrets of life. Secret number 1. Choose well. I'm not talking about a job. I'm talking about picking your spouse, your partner, your significant other, whatever description fits best in your case. This is absolutely the most important decision you will make in your life. Whomever you choose, I hope you both enjoy good humor and good health throughout all your days together. Laughter really is the best medicine. And be sure to share your life with a kindred spirit who loves you, warts and all. Secret number 2, always take the most difficult path. If somebody says you can choose between A and B, and A is dead solid simple, and B looks impossible, always take B. Because A will turn out to have been really boring if that's the way you go, and you will discover that B wasn't anywhere near as difficult as you thought it was, and you'll fly further and higher than you ever thought was possible. Secret number 3, take risks, which is different from taking the most difficult road. Taking risks means doing something totally off the wall that's combusted in your own brain. My late wife and I 3 times left Canada to live in 3 different countries, just pulled up stakes. We lived in England, United States, and then in Italy, as President Piercy has already mentioned. When I look back, those were wonderful times when we explored new places, learned new things about ourselves, and on each occasion came to the conclusion that Canada was the best place to live and to continue to call home. Think about the Loyalists after whom this college was named, who uprooted themselves and their family and moved to this part of the wilderness as it was then, when moves were far more difficult than they are now. My only caution to you is this: if you do choose to move away from Canada for a while, please come back. We need you and we need your talents. And if you decide you don't want to leave the country for a year or 2, that's fine. But every once in a while, shake up your life, reinvent yourself, and do something a little different. Otherwise, you'll get stuck in a rut. Secret number 4, enjoy the moment. We're a long time dead. Another way of looking at that is to say, revel in the journey. Don't hustle to get to your destination. Graduation day is special, and this is one of the most special days of your life. And for the last year or 2 years or 3 years, however long your program has been, this has been a destination for you. And there will be lots of bad days ahead, but you will survive them. Just work your way through. Remember this: the past is history, the future is mystery, and the present is a gift. Secret number 5. Woody Allen once said, 80% of success is just showing up. You'll be surprised to learn how often that's true. There are so many mediocre people out there in the world that you will outshine them all without even breaking a sweat. Even better, if you show up with an idea of how somebody can solve a problem that they have been wrestling with, you will end up in the top 1% in the success category. And if you don't have a particular idea or need some help to get along your way, ask the most important person you know the answer to your question. People love to give answers to questions when they know the answers. At the same time, you might even turn up a mentor who will guide you and help accelerate your career and your life on a faster basis. Secret number 6, be an optimist. Nobody wants to work with duds. One of the best ways to make a happy life is through meaningful relationships with people you've met here, with neighbors, with family. These deep relationships are not automatic. You've got to work at them to make them work. And in the same way, as you create your own happiness, you don't just stumble into success, you will make your own success. It's up to you to make your success happen. Equally important to understand is that you don't learn from success, you learn from failure. So don't be afraid to fail. Learn from what you've just done. Secret number 7, trust your instincts. I'm not as good at this as I should be, but usually your first blink, to use the word that Malcolm Gladwell did in his book to describe gut feel, usually your first blink about a situation or a person is probably pretty accurate. The same applies to decision making. You'll find as you go through life that you're faced with decisions, and sometimes you'll make a huge long list. On the left-hand side, you'll put all the pros, and on the right-hand side, you'll put all the cons, and you'll weigh the two sides and try to come up with a decision. I've got a far simpler, guaranteed, never-to-fail method. Toss a coin. You put all the pros on one side and then the one particular choice, and you put all the other cons on the other side and the other choice. If it's between two choices, you flip the coin, heads for the one, tails for the other, and when you look, if you're disappointed and dismayed with the choice that's come up, do the other one. It'll turn out to be right every time. Secret number 8, do what you enjoy and enjoy what you do. Now, everybody's going to tell you that one, and you'll say, yeah, and pay no attention, but it's true. Without a passion for something, you won't do anything. You won't achieve anything with your life. Now, as President Piercy mentioned, I write books. I try to write 500 words a day. At the end of the year, I've got enough words to write a book, to have the book finished. Now, if you said to me, what would you like to do tomorrow? You've got your choice of anything to do all day tomorrow. I'd tell you, well, I'd just like to sit down and write. That's what I'm talking about. Have something in your life that you enjoy doing and would choose to do over everything else. As I mentioned, I try to write 500 words a day. Novelist Graham Greene, when he was my age, aimed for 300 words. Well, I'll explain the discrepancy. His words were better than mine. I had to throw a lot of them out that I wrote. Still, I wholeheartedly endorse what Graham Greene once said. He said, I have no talent. It's just a question of working, being willing to put in the time. And I'm sure you found this true with any assignment that you had to hand in. The toughest part was putting your rear end in that chair and getting to work. And once you were at it, things would flow along. Secret number 9. Life's what happens to you when you're making plans. Most life-changing events are serendipitous. They creep up on us, take us by surprise, like the first frost of fall. Seize such moments when they occur, because those golden opportunities don't come along too often. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have a goal. You should. Make it a brave goal. Make it a good goal. Make it a goal that only you can accomplish. But be ready to head in another direction if something better comes along. And I have a suggestion for you, just kind of a wacky suggestion, which brings me to secret number 10. I know Loyalist has got an 87% success rate at people finding jobs in the first 6 months, but full-time jobs are hard to find. Why not start your own business? You might as well, because you will never get rich working for somebody else. And you'll always be under somebody else's thumb. Be your own boss. All you have to do is believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? What sort of a business could it be? Well, what are you good at? What could you make? What idea has been burbling away in the back of your mind in recent months as you look forward to graduation and life after? Maybe somebody is looking for that very idea that you have. Canada desperately needs more entrepreneurs to take a flyer. Just remember this: if you can dream it, you can do it. Thank you again for your invitation today.